Hello, beautiful healing community. It's your girl, Salenna Green, and this is another episode of the Hot Girls Healing Podcast. So today I am joined by Loki, a veteran of the show. Uh, I don't love the word veteran, but someone who hasn't been here before. She ain't new to this healing journey. She true to this healing journey. Let me say it that way. Um, and that is Angelica. And before she introduces herself, y'all, today we are talking about unlearning and relearning. So, you know, there's a lot. There's a lot that could come up in that. And so um, for me, look, I'm going to be transparent. I've had to unlearn and relearn a lot. We'll get into it. If you need to clutch your pearls during this episode, maybe do. That's between you and your God. All right. So, Angelica, let's have you introduce yourself to the people and just let them know whatever it is that you feel like they need to know before we get into this conversation. And then we're about to hop right in.
Okay, well, hello everyone. As she mentioned, my name is Angelica Marie. I am a multifaceted, interdisciplinary creative. I love the mediums of singing, of song and dance and writing. And for a long time, I was a model, and
Mm,
now my current focus is photography and really capturing really special moments. Um, on one side, and then on the other side, I love telling the story with my camera, or at least trying to convey good messages that really uplift Black people, specifically even more so Black women.
mm,
And that's what moves me right now. That is my current medium. Right now, I'm also dabbling back into like putting on curating events to where people
mm.
can feel good. Right now, I have an event called Self Care on a Sunday that I'm revamping. It's been on a very long hiatus, but the emphasis of this event is to literally get everyone to come and pause, play
Mm.
dress up, get captured, have fun, and just capture your joy and just have fun. Like having fun. That is so important to me, and a lot more ways than I realized. And it has kind of become a more so like a life passion myself of like whatever you do, you have to incorporate some sort of joy, some sort of fun.
Mm.
Otherwise, what are we doing? And so that is who I am to my core.
Ooh, say all of that. I genuinely have to say, for anyone listening, watching, she ain't lying. Angelica is an amazing photographer. Like,
Yeah.
I have personally been photographed by
Mhm.
her, and I have witnessed her work when I was in, the first adult stage production that I've been in. That came.
Mhm.
I feel like when I say it like that, it sounds weird. I mean, like the first production I've been in since I've been an adult. It wasn't like
Yeah.
but Angelica was the photographer for that, y'all. So look, if you're in the area, book her. And if you're not, fly her out.
Send me
So
out.
uh
Yes.
right, period. So that is so real. And I love that because I'm sure within that process, even of being a multidisciplinary artist, there's a lot of unlearning and relearning that you have to do, not only when you're switching disciplines, but just confronting yourself in your artistic process comes with a lot of unlearning and relearning, I'm finding. But
Yeah.
let's talk about what we learned in the first place. Like when I am talking about this process of an unlearning and relearning,
Hmm.
what the fuck I was taught, I'm talking about not only the negative things that I internalized as a child and then had to, work through, release, process in my adult years, but also some of the good things that I learned, I had to maybe unlearn like my limited beliefs around them, right? And then I had
Hmm.
to relearn them in a way that was more expansive once I'd grown and I'd gotten to a new place in my life. So for me, this is not an inherently negative process. It can
Right.
be something that is very positive, or something that's really hard. But my only L's are lessons, and I'm gonna tell you that right now.
I'm stealing that. But my only L's are lessons. Absolutely. I'm putting that in my back pocket. I like that. I like that. Oh, I like that. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that hit me right here. Only
Look,
L's are lessons. Only L's are lessons. So, like, what would you say was probably like your first? I shouldn't say. I wouldn't say first lesson, but like your most impactful lesson. That's not an L.
ooh, my impactful lesson that's not an L.
Mm-hmm.
One of my lessons that I had to that I've always thought was positive is that I am responsible for myself. Now look, that could have happened in a way that maybe wasn't the best, or maybe I found it to be true in ways that weren't the best. But I think having that knowledge early was very
Yeah.
beneficial to me. And so that is something that I've had to unlearn and relearn in a way that made it more expansive,
Mm-hmm.
maybe healthier, maybe attached to things that made me feel capable instead of lonely. So maybe
Yeah.
framing had to happen, but it was ultimately something that was always beneficial to me and always, realistic. So I would say for me, that's one that maybe was neutral or positive that I still had to unlearn and relearn my relationship to it.
Yeah. I'm gonna expound on that because something that I did that was, I'm not even gonna say it was it started off as like just a commitment to myself. Like in high school, like when I graduated, I was very clear. I'm not going to the way I want to experience my adulthood is not necessarily feeling so caged
Mm-hmm.
or doing something that just wasn't fun or it wasn't anything that I didn't like doing. Um, I was always a pretty creative kid, but for just due to life reasons, I wasn't really able to explore it.
Mm-hmm.
And even when I tried to do it, it was always met with just an unnecessarily and unfortunate amount of just whatever. And so the moment I graduated, I was already just kind of like, I don't want to hear nothing from anyone. At least at this point, I'm going to do what I can to control what it is I want to do. I'm going to have fun. I'm just going to allow myself to be curious. Like that whole fear of missing out really absolutely took a hold on me. And
Mm-hmm.
so for a good amount of my adulthood, that was that was just what it was. If I wanted to dance, I would dance. If I wanted to sing, I would find some way to sing. That went on for years, and it's still going on right now. And so right now, I'm not 18 anymore, and I look at my life, and then parts of me kind of, things didn't go necessarily how I wanted them to, but I mean, of course, whose does?
Right.
And especially within the past few months, I've been fighting my own shame because stuff hasn't gone the way that I had planned it, or it doesn't look like my immediate circle of friends, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so that in and of itself, I think emotionally was isolating. But flip side, I had to remind myself, like, Angelica, you were very clear once you entered into this realm of adulthood that you were going to do things on your terms. And at the end of the day, if you actually look at what you did and actually paid attention to who you are as a person, there was no other way this was going to turn out. Not for
Mm-hmm.
real. You absolutely stayed true to what it was. You just didn't necessarily know what it looked like. And it's like, ew. Okay. So right now my that lesson is, okay, you were absolutely true to yourself. And there was nothing, like you didn't miss out or anything. But right now it's just because I'm unlearning, just because things didn't go as planned doesn't necessarily mean shame has to stay there. It
Yes.
really doesn't.
Ooh.
And if when you boil that when it boils down to it, like if you get past all the, well, I should have been this right now, I should have this much money right now, I should have been married, I should have been getting blah, 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 blah. When it boils down to it, somewhere, that agreement that you made matches with where you're at right now,
Mm-hmm.
and it's okay. And
Mm,
so
that's
that's it.
beautiful.
That's
That
all
is
I'm at.
beautiful. And you know what I'm hearing in that, and like what I'm relating it to in my mind is unlearning and relearning this whole thing around shame. Like for me, I think
Hmm.
I may be still in that process. Like I've yet to really find a place where shame fits in for me. Like I, when I started unlearning shame, and this has to do with like my background and like being
Hmm.
raised Christian and maybe the way that I was taught Christianity. But I don't know, like shame just was always used as a motivator, but I never found it very motivating. And so when I was unlearning and relearning this relationship with shame, I just decided that whatever shame is, it's not a motivator for me. Shame is not going to be the reason why I change myself. It's not going to be the reason why I change my circumstances. It's not going to be the reason why I do better for myself or any of that. Shame never made me want to do any of that. And I didn't really observe it making other people want to do that either. And then once I got into college and I started studying, I said, okay, see, shame be having y'all just doing it and hiding, but still doing it. Like,
Selena, I talk to my friends about this all the time. I'm like, so is anyone going to tell the truth? Anybody? Nobody? All right, bet. Okay. No, that is beautiful. That is, we're here with that. It's interesting. Shame absolutely was a motivator for me. I
mm,
think within the past 2 years, I will say that it transitioned into like, all right, we're not about to do this no more.
mm,
You cannot, like, okay, former recovering people pleaser, right?
mm,
And so a lot of the things that I did, whether they were positive or impact or not, the thing that did motivate me was either fear or shame, right? And yes, it could be, something positive could come from it, but who wants to do stuff out of fear and shame, right?
right.
And so my realization of just like, no, you've been doing this, you've been using that to gas you for a very long time, and your body is literally tired. And
Mm,
so currently that's probably my main unlearning to relearn, like as we speak. I literally texted my brother. I was like, there's just an overwhelming amount of shame and I do not know what to do with it. And, he's gone through his therapy and he's, talked me off a ledge and was like working me through it. But like that right there, currently, just like having to rewire my brain for not shame, but like, I think that the opposite of shame is it acceptance? One of those. But it's essentially, I think it is. I think it is from what I read. And so being able to like slow down enough to be like, all right, I'm feeling this. Why am I feeling this? Is it valid? Is it not valid? Like,
mm,
does it have a place? Does it not have a place? How do we not feel bad? Because we're not just about to walk around feeling bad because we don't exist like that anymore. We're not going
mm,
to exist like that anymore. And so that whole process has been very much here, definitely for 2025. For sure. I am in the thick of it right now as you speak. But what I did tell myself this year, even process or not, that I would stop hiding. Because you know what I
mm,
mean? I did say to myself, I'm like, regardless of where you're at, girl, we're done hiding.
mm.
And whatever comes with it isn't gonna change. Ain't about to change where you have to go, but you can't hide anymore. And I'm like, all right, fine. So that's that there's a lot of unlearning there, like right now.
Yeah. Oh my God. Not even like about unlearning or relearning for me, but there's like this wave of visibility going around. Like people are having to confront their willingness or unwillingness to be seen. And I'm like hearing
Mm-hmm.
it over and over again. I'm like, I wonder if that's one of those like human things, that's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's even kind of for me a little bit where I'm like
Mm-hmm.
having to confront this. anxiety about being seen. And I'm like, girl, you're already seen. But I'm like, but I know, but like, it's like,
It's different
it's
now.
different. Like,
It's really, I think it's because the wave of visibility that's almost like that's coming is requiring a level of authenticity that wasn't necessarily required before.
say that. That
Like,
is something that I had not thought of.
think about it. Like even on social media, the algorithm don't even act like it used to, just because it still kind of wonky, but it will absolutely favor what's authentic. You're not going to be able to connect with an audience if you're not authentic. We can already tell. And I'm just using social media as an example,
Mhm.
just because everyone knows social media, but
Yeah.
it requires a level of vulnerability and, like I said, authenticity. That's not necessarily fun.
Yeah. Who is not?
Like, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? You can
Like being
curate it.
honest.
Go ahead.
Yeah. No, you telling the truth. You ain't lying. There is this thing that comes with being vulnerable,
Mm-hmm.
that comes with visibility. So I think, yeah, to to kind of conclude my whole little thing about this wave of visibility, it's like, yeah, there's vulnerability coming with that wave as well. Absolutely. And then in the days of like AI and stuff, like, whew, yeah, it's a lot. But that's actually related to the unlearning and relearning of it all. One of the things that I've had to unlearn and relearn is comparison. That's another thing that comes in these days of social media, and there's always the news feed, and you're seeing everybody seemingly win constantly, doing all the things that you want to do. And I'm speaking for myself right now. I've never been someone who was like, oh, I can't do social media because everyone's, or like all of it is so bad and like mean, and like my algorithm ain't bad and mean. My algorithm is win 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 all the time, no matter what.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm definitely super happy for like anyone that I know personally who's winning. I like, oh my god, I feel so happy when I see that. And it's just like, this communal winning. Like
Mm-hmm.
when I win, I definitely be feeling that. And
Absolutely.
there's times where it's like, damn, like not even not happy for them. It just becomes about being like a judgmental parent to myself. I'm like, why aren't you more like your friends?
Right. Just like, girl, what are you doing? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, like, I'm there in the thick of that as well. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
I
And
never. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
oh, and that's just something that I actually was taught, like comparison of myself to others. Having being from a family where I have nine sisters, there was plenty of people who looked kind of like me to compare me to, and so I often was compared to whoever was standing closest to me, or whatever it was. So I did internalize that, and it was something that never made me happy. And I do notice a trend of when it comes to the things that I have unlearned and relearned,
Mm-hmm.
these are things that whatever the outcome was, there was an impact, a negative impact on me. So even if it did make me high achieving, there was still a
Yep.
cost that was too much. The impact was too
Mm.
much, regardless of the outcome. And so ultimately, for me, anything that I've unlearned and relearned was so that I can get an outcome that is still desired without a cost that is so high to me personally. Because I'm not really willing to
Mm.
be the currency anymore, not for myself, not for this capitalist ass system. I'm not going to be the currency anymore.
Especially as a Black woman, like that's just that is something that again, tying it back to unlearning.
Mm-hmm.
As a Black woman, and especially someone who was raised as a Christian, as a believer, like this self-sacrifice is not only is it expected, but it's also like revered and praised. Um, and I've never I mean, I can't say I never subscribed to it just because it was expected of me, but always in the back of my brain, it always made me go, because I would see all of those type of people. I would see the people that we respect and revere, but then I would always ask myself, are they healthy? Did they enjoy themselves?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the part that no one else was asking. Oh my God, to this point, and this is like such a harrowing tale. Like, I can't even believe I'm about to say this, but I was at work today and two people were discussing someone that they used to work with. And so the coworker is like, "Oh, how was, Nancy? How is she?" And the other person's like, "Oh, she's dead." And when they're talking about how she died, she essentially worked herself to death. And I'm just like, this was a woman. And, I am non binary, but I was conditioned and raised to be a woman. Like, I have all the memories of the experiences of being conditioned to be a girl, woman, do all of that. And while yes, I questioned it the whole time and it didn't feel right for me, those messages get internalized no matter what person you end up being as an adult, and finding yourself, all the conditioning that you had, it doesn't go away. Now, poof, I'm non-binary now. Goodbye, conditioning of womanhood. I wish. But no, yeah, you get conditioned to work yourself to death. And then that's it. And then people find out that you died and they're like, "Well, damn, she was a hard worker. She worked hard. That was her life." And I said, "It'll never be me."
Same. Like I just like I kind of breaks my heart just because it's like my mom my mom passed when I was 22, right? Some years ago, right? And so
Mhm.
trying to navigate the womanhood and what that looks like for me has been a very peculiar journey.
Mhm.
Just because also my references, like I said, was that conditioning that you do any and everything for your family. Um you make sure they're good, but not necessarily check for yourself. You're
Mhm.
not necessarily taking care of yourself because there's other things to do. Don't do that. Don't don't be so, for lack of a better term, don't be so into your looks because that makes you vain.
Mhm.
Don't feel yourself because that would make you prideful. Don't, you know what I'm saying? Like all
Yeah.
of that. And I remember still to this day, part of why I keep on my path of just whatever this womanhood thing looks like for me is just what it's gonna look like for me, is because a good amount of those women that I grew up with are no longer here. And
Mhm.
the mere fact I can't say to myself, did they actually enjoy their time here on earth? Did they actually enjoy their family? Did they
Mhm.
actually enjoy doing things? Did they have fun? Like, did they, like, do, do their friends know their favorite color? Do their children know their favorite color? Do, like, just these type of
Real.
things. It's like, could they just exist and be okay? And the mere fact I can't say that I saw that boggles my mind, but at the same time also creates a level of like empathy, just because it's like, unfortunately, that was the culture at that time. And I'm just glad that I'm in a space to where I'm at least aware and mindful enough that for stuff that's not okay, and that we're in a space to where we can actually shift it in our lifetime and actually use that, like, well, not use that, use the remaining of your time to be able to live life like you want to,
Mhm.
and not feel so much shame, or feeling guilt or shame, guilt, or feeling like you need to be a certain way.
Yes. Oh my God, that brought me right to the other thing. I was like, I need to bring this the fuck up because one of
Okay.
the other things that I learned that I needed to be was cute. Be cute, be pretty, do be attractive, do have your hair done at all times, nails done too, be presentable, be put together, be snatched, be fried, dyed, and laid to the side, depending.
Ooh, I learned.
I learned.
Selena, you're just all in my business and don't even realize it. Um, it's like, girl, why? No, it's just and it's just and I'm glad that you're bringing this up, just because that has been such a source of shame for me, because you would think, like, even as like a model, seen pictures, you would think I would know better, right? But it's like, not when I don't necessarily like modeling. For me, again, I'm a creator. For me, that's playing dress up. I will play dress up all day. And in a sense, that's a character. That's who I am as a person,
Mm-hmm.
and having to be like, all right, no, so now you stop that. So now what? Like, and navigating that space, or trying to find, no, I'm gonna say it right. I'm gonna say it right. Navigating that space of coming to where I am comfortable in this shell, in this body, and being okay with showing up as myself, not as a character.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably, like, even there's a knot in my chest even saying this out loud. I cannot believe I'm just saying this out loud. It's fine though. But that's been a very big, like, relearning, like, as we speak,
Mm-hmm.
and trying to prioritize that. I'm not gonna lie, subconsciously has been a fight, Selena. I kid you not.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like, and it could just be as simple as like, all right, this week you're gonna buy a dress. I gotta buy a dress, or I could just buy something for the kitchen. I can buy new cups, or I can
Mm-hmm.
buy these really cute ceramic bowls. It's like, no, you're gonna buy yourself a dress this week.
Yeah.
But it's happening though. It's a
Yes.
thing. It's a
Period.
thing.
Because that's a
So,
part of the relearning. Like you got to be your own parent, like teaching you the importance of doing something nice for yourself and showing yourself, you deserve this. And so I'm going to give it to you.
mhm.
Me to
I have
me.
a question. I have a question for you.
Hmm.
So, being that we're both in and out of this relearning, unlearning process, how do you tell your body that it's safe to do so? Like, what type of things do you tell your, at least your nervous system, or your nerves, or your, how do you get out of your head about it without
Yeah.
being like, oh my God, what am I doing? You know?
Oh, that's such a good question. I'm super literal. And I'm also like, it's like this level of self knowledge and self acceptance because I'm awkward. You know what I mean? Um, I can be extroverted, so I can
Yeah.
go from, doing the modeling or hosting or doing a short presentation or a long presentation. And then as soon as I'm done, I'm like, I go from like to like, what do I do with my hands now? Like I feel small and awkward.
No, I get it. I get it.
So
Same.
a little bit I let myself do that and I say that's okay. I would in back in the day I'd feel bad. I would have applied judgment to myself for feeling awkward in a space or for having a beat where I don't. Well, for me it's like I'm sometimes I think about too much about what other people are thinking about my behavior.
Yep.
Sometimes I'm just very comfortable to stand there and take a room in and just look around. But I'm thinking, oh, people are going to think you're weird if you're doing that. So stand near someone or pretend like you're a part of this group. Like sometimes I'm literally like, beep, boop, boop, boop. This is how you humans, Lena, do this so that people won't think you're being weird.
That's so relatable, because it's true. More people think like that than they're willing to admit, Selena. I promise you. Hmm.
Yeah. And then like once I like breathe and accept myself for whatever state I'm in that moment, then I'm
Mm-hmm.
always able to be a lot more natural. Then I can say, okay, well, what did I come here for? And if I came to usually this event, because it's usually an event that I'm at surrounded by people, but I'm like, I just want to look at the pretty people. I don't want to talk to them.
No,
Um,
that's fair.
like, you came here to talk. So try to
I
talk to
know.
people, give myself something approachable. Usually if I'm there to talk to people, I have like a thing. I have an event to promote or whatever it is. I always have this little podcast. So I'm like, that's my fallback. If I don't got no event to promote, I'm a podcaster. What's up? Right. So like I give myself my little talking points because I know I'm an introvert, so I will get nervous. I might not remember, some charming story that gets them every time. But if I have, whatever, my little two talking points, I can remember those. So I just like to prepare myself as much as I can to mitigate the effects of anxiety and then be realistic about where I am in that moment. If I'm not feeling super social or like, a smooth operator, that's okay. Be who you are in that moment and know that that is enough. And so just really working with myself. Like I really be there like my own little life coach in my head, telling myself what I need to do and accepting myself for where I am in that moment.
That's beautiful, Selena. That's beautiful. Did that come about through like, was that like your own solution? Did that come about like through therapy? Did it come through like journaling? Like, or you just like, no, I gotta talk to myself right now, otherwise I'm going to spiral.
I think it may be a little bit of my own reflective journey and therapy
Mm-hmm.
combined. Because one of the things that I learned, I mean, going through school, getting this little psychology degree, it teaches you a couple of things. You read some books, you learn some coping mechanisms, maybe you try a few of them out. So one of the things that I had learned about was reparenting,
Mm-hmm.
and people reparenting their inner child. And I was like, my childhood was kind of iffy. Now that I'm starting to remember more things, let's reparent me. And I had to start paying way more attention to myself than I really ever had, because that was one of
Mm-hmm.
the things that I had internalized is, Selena, you're good. So I was good and I wasn't really
That's
checking
fair.
in to see whether that was true or not. So I had to like, oh Lord, I started from the basics. I get sad sometimes, and I hold space for that sadness because
Same.
I was not taught how to do some things at all. So I'm not even unlearning. I'm just learning from jump how to,
Seriously.
hold space for my emotions, how to not even like hold space for them, but realize their non-permanence. Like I had not let myself experience an emotion enough to realize that it literally won't stay forever. If you actually feel it, it will pass and
That,
it ends. I didn't know
absolutely.
I didn't know that they ended. I thought they literally just stayed forever if you felt them. So that's why I was like, well, I'm just not going to feel it, right? Because that's a simple solution. No.
Mm-mm. Not at all. Not at all. That that's a beautiful thing. And that's why your work here, I'm just gonna hype you up for a quick second. That's why your work with this type of thing is so important, because that in and of itself, unless you have like those tools, that can be a source of like, that is like a gateway to shame and like embarrassment and fear. Like nobody wants to admit certain things that they just don't know, that may
Hmm.
seem like basic to like the vast majority of people, or it might not be the vast majority of people, but
Yeah.
nobody necessarily wants to feel like they're alone in those type of struggles that aren't necessarily like broadcast everywhere.
Hmm.
And so no, you're doing good work. And so I appreciate you just being transparent even in that moment, as far as just like, yeah, reparenting yourself consists of being able to really pay attention to yourself. And some of us don't even necessarily know first off what that looks like or what that is.
Yeah.
or how to go about like showing the energy that for a very long time was required to be outside of yourself and trying to turn it in turning it inward. Like
Yeah.
that's almost like it's overwhelming, at least for me.
Yeah.
It's overwhelming as heck.
Yes.
And you almost feel like, at least for me, especially within the past 3 months, it's felt like, Angelica, you're being so irresponsible. There's so many other things you could be doing and you probably should be doing, and da da da. When it's like, no, 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 like you got to slow down
Yeah.
and really pay attention to you. Otherwise, we know this outcome, and we've already committed to not having that one.
Yes.
And so,
Yeah.
yeah.
It was, I didn't know. It took years for me to figure out that I was getting headaches because I was clenching my jaw for so long. Like little things like that. Like I didn't know what it felt like to just be hungry. I only knew what it felt like to be like nauseous from hunger. But I actually realized that's really, really, really far down the road. Like now that now that I'm like more in tune with my situation, I'm like, oh, that was bad. Like that was really bad. But I just didn't know. Like I just was not in tune with my body. I was always just moving, moving, moving. Next thing I
Hmm.
know, it's 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. I'm like, have I eaten today? But
Nope.
that's the norm. That was
Hmm.
literally the norm. So many things that we can think are normal just because it's normalized for us. Normal don't mean good for you. Normal just means that's what you're exposed to. That's the only thing that normal means. And so we got to check on normal a lot of the times, especially like if we look like this. So, if you're listening, I'm pointing to my hand. You know what color my hand is. So, we have to check in with ourselves on the most basic levels to
Hmm.
know that we're good from those most basic levels up. And that is what I've learned in this whole journey of unlearning, relearning. And that's how I've unlearned and relearned so much is from reflecting on myself. When I start to feel something come up, I'm like, what is that? What are you feeling right now, Salenna? And I investigate that feeling and I sit with it
Hmm.
for a little bit, and I've gotten to the point where I'm honoring the non permanence of my feelings because not only are they true and real in that moment, but they're also not what is defining my reality. Like,
Absolutely.
do y'all hear the nuance in that? Emotions are real and they're true, they're not reality defining. So, because what someone said upset me,
Absolutely.
doesn't mean that they were trying to upset me.
Hmm.
Doesn't mean that they have nefarious intent towards me.
Hmm.
And my upset could have nothing to do with them at all. And
Right.
everything to do with what was triggered in me by what
Right.
they said. And so it was things like that that I started to see. I started to notice my own patterns. I really did start to love myself more deeply because I knew myself more. I had more compassion for myself. I wasn't just some dumb bitch no more. Like I really was somebody
Lena.
have been through something. I'm somebody with goals. I'm someone
Right.
who's precious. You know, all of these things come this enhanced level of compassion for myself because I'm parenting inner me now. And inner me does not deserve, my inner child does not deserve to be spoken to no type of way, does not deserve
Absolutely.
to be handled no type of way.
Hmm.
And that's me that I'm honoring. But at first it wasn't me, it was little me. So there was a separation that felt comfortable that
Right.
has like been closing over these years until we are one, Ashe. And so it's just such a beautiful journey, but it really does take time, and unlearning and relearning is such a huge part of it that I'm really thankful to you because we this is threeson this is season 3, which is the threeson, if you will. And
Hey.
how long it took for someone to have this conversation with me. I wanted to have this season 1.
Really?
Yeah, but you
Oh,
know, everything in divine timing, all things in alignment. Um, I
absolutely.
believe we needed to be ready to have this discussion. So it's so beautiful, and unlearning and relearning is something that I have done so intentionally, but also has been accidental at times. So when you are unlearning and relearning,
Right.
realize that some of the unlearning and relearning will have already happened and you'll just peep it through reflection.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Um, I'm learning that especially in the area of love,
Mm.
romantic and platonic. It's like, I think as of recently, it's like, were you in love or were you trying to survive? Did you love or did you just, was it a level of limerence? Like, was it love or were you just trying to be accepted? Like, all of
Mm.
this, you start questioning everything. And not on some, and then not in a negative way. It challenged me because it's like, Angelica, don't be so dang shallow. And you cannot just throw out that word like that because that's not what
Mm.
that, you know what I'm saying? It's like, that's just,
Mm.
that ain't what it means. And that wasn't what you were feeling. Or, you know what I'm saying? And so just this whole process has really like shed a light on like how your intentions really do shape how stuff like turns out.
Mm.
And if you're disconnected with yourself, the margin of error for intentions not going, your intentions, producing something that you don't necessarily, you're not trying to, that's not the outcome, that's not the desired outcome, it gets wider.
Mm.
And so like this concept of relearning and relearning really is just a matter of like trying to make sure you can connect back to self. And it's essential now, especially now more than ever. And so
Mm.
I'm glad we could have this conversation. Straight up.
Yeah, because
Straight
the
up.
healing is so worth it. It's
Right.
so worth it. I feel just capacity that I didn't have before. Just the ability to show up
Mm-hmm.
for myself, for other people, for my community, to be present is just so much different now. I can't even quite I can't qualify it right now, but just trust me. Sources, trust me. Angelica, are there any like last words around unlearning and relearning? Anything that we haven't said that you want to leave the people with?
First thing that came to my brain was literally listen to your body. Your
Mm.
body isn't going to lie to you. It's not. Like we might try to lie to ourselves up here, but the rest of your body's going to, it's going to tell. It's going to let you know what's up. So just
Mm.
listen, find a way, whatever that looks like, get back to your body. And that's more than half the battle. You'll be all right.
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
And I think like that's huge
yeah.
because when it comes to this unlearning and relearning, like sometimes what we're taught is like to talk over our body. We're taught
Mm-hmm.
to rationalize things or ignore them or what have you. So, yes, getting back into that space of listening to your body is huge. Angelica, where can people find you, pay you, book you? Like, not only as a photographer, but as a speaker, because,
Oh my
like,
God.
y'all was picking up what she was putting down.
Don't
You
do that. Girl, don't do that. Don't do it. You can find me on Instagram at Ms. underscore Angelica Marie, all one word. And as far as my photography page, it's at Barksdale Jones Photography. I love lifestyle and wedding stuff, but I'm also a creative. And so if you have a concept that you just want fleshed out, I will walk through that process with you. I'm really good at that. And we're
Mm.
going to have a ball if we do so. And so, yeah, that is where I'm at.
Book, my good sis. All right, y'all. And my last word on unlearning and relearning, I'm gonna just round it back to your L's are lessons. You got to make it the lesson, though. You got to take that knowledge to make it a
Mm-hmm.
lesson. So, um, apply that liberally to spots that,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Absolutely.
All right,
I love
y'all.
that.
You can follow me on social media at Hot Girls Healing Podcast on Instagram and TikTok. If you see me out in these streets, do give me a wave. My name is Salenna Green. This has been another episode of the Hot Girls Healing Podcast. Thank you so much, Angelica, for joining me.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you.
All right, y'all. I will see you here next time. Bye. All
Oh.
right. I stopped the recording.
Since I know you're tired, since I know you're stressed, you were always favored and you were always blessed. It's all about that. Hot girls healing. We doing it our way. Hot girls healing. We better day by day. Hot girls healing. We doing it our way. Hot girls healing. And it goes on and on. And when it all goes wrong, we'll celebrate the song. Nothing's gonna hold us down. And it goes on and on. The healing takes it all. But we are proud and strong. Nothing's gonna hold us down. Hot girls healing. Hot girls healing.